Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about the platform known as the Common Application. So whether or not you're personally familiar with that, you're going to be getting to know the Common App very soon as a platform that is essential to your application towards different colleges. So today we're going to start with an introduction to that and a look at its interface. So the Common Application was initiated over 35 years ago as a way to standardize the increasingly lengthy application process for the growing body of college applicants. So what that means is that 35 years ago, there was a large increase in the amount of students that wanted to go to college. And there was an increasing amount of access for students to be able to apply to different schools. So in order to accommodate the fact that there were so many more students and so many more colleges willing to accept them, we needed a platform to standardize the application process and facilitate different students who wanted a larger access to different universities, wherever they are in the country, or around the world now. So back in the day, students would often write entirely different applications for each school. So if you were applying to 5 different schools, that was 5 different essays that you had to send in. Certainly in a complicated process for those of us that want to apply to multiple schools, which I hopefully would suggest are all of us. So once access to education itself expanded and more students were able to apply, universities began requiring that students submit an essay, a resume, as well as recommendations from teachers for admission. So suddenly each college started to require that the same types of materials would be required for application. So as a result, the Common App was created so that students could manage those requirements in a single system. So enter the Common App as we have it today. Nowadays, the Common App is an online application that you can use to apply to 696 schools in the United States. Probably any school that accepts it is one that will be available to you through this platform, and you can manage all of it online. So most schools will use the Common App, but there are some notable exceptions. For example, public universities, generally speaking, will have their own systems separate from the Common App. So you may be covering the same materials through a public university. You might be writing an essay with a similar theme, or you might be submitting a recommendation or a resume. But generally speaking, if you're applying to public universities, they may have a system separate from the Common App. So that includes the UC schools, the UT schools, all those public university systems. But outside of public universities, for those of us applying to private universities, the Common App will generally manage pretty much every school you could want to apply to. So it is definitely a vital resource for you to understand. So here we have a screenshot of the Common App itself. This is the interface through which you will be facilitating all of your applications. As you can see, we have a dashboard to put together your materials. We have My Colleges, where you can put together your list of schools that you're interested in or schools that you're applying to. We have the Common App itself, which are the questions you need to be answering. And here on this screenshot, we have the college search function. So the college search function is very useful because you can apply a lot of different parameters and resources in order to find the types of schools that you're going to be interested in. So, for example, as we have here, you could search for a school by name. For example, Columbia. Make sure that you have the right name of the school because some schools have different names, or some different schools have very similar sounding names. But you could also search for a distance from a zip code. For example, perhaps you don't know where you want to go to school, but you would like to be around New York City or in New York State. You could put a distance from a zip code and end up with a list of schools that fit that criteria. And we also have the term you're applying, the applicant type that you are, whether you're a transfer or a first year. And just generally speaking, you can use the search function to put together your college lists and find the types of colleges that are going to interest you and that you will hopefully be applying to at some point. Here we have a list of results. Like I said before, make sure you have the right college that you're looking for, because, for example, as we have here, if you just input Columbia into the search function, there are a lot of schools that have Columbia in the name. For example, Columbia College in South Carolina, I think what you might be looking for is Columbia University right there near the bottom. So make sure with your search function that you are making the most of the criteria and you are narrowing down your search towards the types of schools that you actually want to go to and that you have the name of the school correct. And secondly, we have on the My Colleges list, here we can manage what is required of each school. So on your My Colleges list, you'll be going to, again, let's say Columbia University. You click on Columbia University, and now you have all the requirements of Columbia University's application laid out for you. So, for example, the questions you need to answer, the option to submit, your recommendations. Basically, you can use this tool to manage every aspect of your application down to the individual requirement materials that each college has. You might notice here a spot for writing supplements, and we're going to get to that in another lesson, but just know for now that each school is going to see the same Common App essay, like I was saying earlier about that standardization process. Your main Common App essay will be sent to every single school as a way of standardizing your application. So wherever you're applying to, they will see your main essay. However, a secondary objective here are supplement essays. So some schools will just want to see your main Common App essay, but plenty of other schools will have another extended requirement, which is to complete a unique supplement essay. So if you were to apply to 3 different schools that have supplement essays, they would all see the same Common App main essay, and then you would have to write 3 more supplements, 1 for each of these schools. But don't get too overwhelmed with that right now. These are just the baseline ideas, the foundation for you to keep in mind as you approach your Common App, and understand that there are a lot of requirements that you're going to have to put together for your different applications, but the Common App is going to be the tool you use to standardize those and to make sure that you stay on top of your applications and you have all the requirements that you need together for each application.